3 myths about what I do. And here's the deal, it's so interesting because a lot of times people will have preconceived notions about this business, and there's a lot of them, so I'm not going to cover all of them tonight, but there's a lot of them. And there are 3 in particular that, I'm going to see if I can do this quick before my cell phone dies, because I've got limited juice here, but say hi, by the way, if you're watching. There are a few myths about what I do that just are kind of, they come up a lot, and they're kind of silly. And so the first one is that you have to have a certain type of personality to do this business, do this particular business that I do. You've got to be super extroverted, or you've got to basically be an extrovert and just have a super outgoing personality. And here's the deal, anyone who actually knows me knows that I am an introvert. Yes, I can pull the energy out of myself. I can be super energetic. I get super passionate about things. And so sometimes you'll see me, like this, and I'm just like, but I'm an introvert. And I had terrible public speaking anxiety when I first started doing this. In fact, that's one of the main reasons that I decided to do this, because I figured that if I could get up in front of strangers and start talking about what we talk about, that maybe I'd be able to finally handle that. And so I also get my energy by stepping back and spending time alone. And so I'm going to make the argument that this is actually the perfect job for introverts, because you can go out, you can be social, you can do it on your own terms. It's a finite period of time, and then you step back and you regroup. And so if you're thinking that you've got to be someone who just loves to be the center of attention, or who is, super comfortable in public speaking settings, that absolutely is not the case. In fact, some of our best consultants are introverts as well. And so you do not have to be an extrovert. So that's myth number 1, that you've got to be an extrovert, you've got to be super outgoing. Again, I pull it out of myself, and I do get super passionate, especially I'm a little bit more comfortable actually on Facebook Live sometimes than I am in person. If you know me in person, I can be a little awkward, right? But I still have been able to be super successful in this business. So that's the first one. The second myth is that you have to know a ton of people to be successful, or that you got to hound your friends and family and just annoy the heck out of them to grow your business. And the reality is that our goal is always to get outside of your social circle as quickly as you can. And so for those that start the business and they don't know a lot of people, it's kind of better. That was me. I didn't have a huge social circle. I was raised in a super conservative environment, and so I didn't ask for a lot of support from friends and family. But what that forced me to do is get outside of my social circle much more quickly, and I learned how to actually market my business and how to expand. Versus sometimes when people do get started and they've got this huge social network, sometimes they rely on that too much, and sometimes what they end up finding is that after they actually run through their friends and family, they never learned the real way to market and grow their business. And so if you don't have a huge social circle, or maybe if you just move to like a brand new community, hello Bridget, good to see you. By the way, say hi people, hello. Who do I have watching? I'm gonna get sidetracked. All right. Okay. So anyway, so if you don't know a lot of people, or maybe you just moved to a new community, it doesn't really matter, because you can absolutely grow this. It's not about who you know now. It's about who you are going to meet. And there are just tons and tons of people in this world. So I know that if I were to go to any community where I knew not a single person, that I would be able to be successful, because I've already gone through it. I know how to do this. I know how to get started again, and it would be no big deal. So that is the second myth. You do not need to know a lot of people to grow your business. And in fact, it almost is better for you if you don't, because you learn how to do it the right way from the very beginning. The third one is a funny one, because I can see where it comes from, but at the same time, it makes no sense. So the third myth about what I do is that you have to carry a ton of inventory, and you have to do in-person parties to sell my particular product line. And I totally get where that comes from, because on the one hand, I do in-home parties. I do carry inventory. It makes business sense for me to do that, and a lot of our consultants choose to do that. But on the other hand, we have options. And so we have a personal website that has drop shipping built into it. You can certainly run your business through social media. In fact, our number 1 seller in the entire company did over 300,000 in personal sales last year. And I think over 200,000 of it was through social media. And so there are lots of different ways that you can do this. And half of my business is actually online now. And so I do half in person, half online. Kind of a funny thing, though, I have to say, when people talk about, oh, I don't want to do parties, or you guys have to do parties, like it's a negative thing. As an introvert and as a mother, that mommy break is nice. It is nice to have some adult conversation. One of the great things about our particular product line, again, is that people are actively looking to have that experience. And so I never feel like I'm twisting people's arms to come over and show product and talk about sexual wellness, right? People want to talk about that. And it's funny because, I'll network with other people that do other product lines, and sometimes it's a challenge for them to get in front of people in person, whereas, and they want to because they know the value of it, whereas with us, it actually, people are actively looking to have that type of an experience. So I think it's a positive thing. However, you don't have to, and we have consultants who are incredibly successful that do their business exclusively online or mostly online. In fact, in Puerto Rico, which is our number one market, in terms of growth right now, they do about 90% of their business through social media. So you've got options, and we are drastically expanding training and how to do that. And so that is one that, again, you know, people sometimes are like, oh, you have to do X, Y, Z. I don't have to do anything. I work when I want, where I want, with whom I want, and how I want, and that is the beauty of this. But I can choose, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So those are the 3 myths about, well, there are several myths, but those are 3 of the myths that people come up with a lot about what I do. And I just wanted to share that with you.